Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mickey C and welcome to another League of Legends video. And in today's video I'm going to be bringing you a one-trick pony Rengar guide with a 75% win rate. I know a lot of people have been asking for a Rengar guide and I finally found a good one to do it on. This guy predominantly plays Rengar in the top lane, so this is going to be a top lane focused guide. As I said, he's got 75% win rate and he's played 144 games this season on Rengar, currently Diamond 2 on 23 LP, and overall he's got a 65% win rate. He has two builds. He has a tanky slash bruiser type Rengar top build and then the standard one-shot Rengar build. So let's do this. Let's get into this guide. So starting with the summoner spells, he likes to take Flash and TP. I know a lot of Rengar mains like to take Flash and Exhaust or Flash and Ignite to try and get that early cheese kill, you know, level 2, level 3 and snowball the lane. But he much prefers taking TP, and how he would utilize this is once he is level 6, he would look to roam to the bot lane, try and get a kill with his ultimate, and then he can easily just TP back to lane and not miss out on any farm. What this does is it snowballs other lanes as well as his if he is ahead. And even if he's behind, this will help him get back into the game and help his team. So now we'll move on to his runes and masteries. So we'll start with his masteries. So his first page is the Fever of Battle page, which is more used when he's looking to one-shot the enemy team, or he's going to go with that more damage type build. So as you can see, he goes 18 points in ferocity and then the 12 points in resolve. You guys can just pause the video and copy that if you want to. And then his tankier mastery page is this one here with 12 points in ferocity and the 18 points in resolve, and obviously he's got the grasp of the undying. So if you want to build tank top Rengar, this is probably the best page to go with. So you guys can just pause the video and copy it if you want to. We'll get to his tank Rengar build later on, but it's a pretty interesting build, I must admit. So stay tuned for that. And now quickly onto his runes. So this is the page he mostly takes. So he's got 9 armor penetration reds, 9 flat armor yellows, 9 flat cooldown reduction blues, the 1 cooldown reduction quints, and then the 2 armor penetration quints. So as you can tell from this, Rengar benefits a lot from armor penetration and cooldown reduction, and also because he's playing in the top lane, he's going to be up against those tanky top laners that stack armor, so armor penetration is really vital. And now finally we're going to be moving on to the item build. So we'll start with the one-shot item build, the full damage item build that you see most Rengar players going with. So what you want to do is either start with a long sword and 3 pots, or a Doran's blade and a pot. I guess in my opinion, if you're looking to play a lot more aggressive in the early laning phase, you would go with the long sword, and if you're going to be a lot more passive in the laning phase or during the laning phase, you'll go with the Doran's blade because you've got that lifesteal to continually heal yourself up. And this player seems to constantly switch between the two. It looks like he prefers the long sword in most cases, but sometimes he would go with the Doran's blade. So now moving on to the core items, what you want to do is build a Warhammer, which then builds into a Ghostblade. Get your Boots of Lucidity for the cooldown reduction, a Tiamat, and then Stattik Shiv. So as you can tell from these items, they provide a lot of burst damage with Ghostblades active, Tiamat's active, and then Stattik Shiv. There's a lot of burst damage there, and that's obviously your goal with the one-shot Rengar, is one-shot the enemy AD carry. So you can see why these are the core items, and they're pretty essential on one-shot Rengar. So here is an example of a standard final build. So he's got Youmuus Ghostblade, Ravenous Hydra, Boots of Lucidity, Stattik Shiv, Infinity Edge, and Phantom Dancer. Obviously this has got a lot of critical strike, it's 80% to be exact, and this build along with these runes would have 30% CDR, which is not too bad. You don't really want to go under 30% CDR on Rengar in my opinion. So some other items that he would go with are these. So you got Titanic Hydra over the Ravenous Hydra. So if you don't really need the lifesteal, or you don't think so, you can go with the Titanic Hydra, which in my opinion is a much better late game item. Against a lot of magic damage and CC, you can go with the Maw of Malmortius or Banshee's Veil. You can obviously also go with both of them if you don't want to get bursted down from those sort of champions. And then Essence Reaver, if you really want to cap out your CDR, you can go with an Essence Reaver over something like an Infinity Edge. And you can also do the same thing with Black Cleaver. You can go with the Black Cleaver instead of Infinity Edge. And also if you think you're going to be fighting a lot of tankier champions, a Black Cleaver is also another good option. And then obviously your Elixir of Wrath is the best elixir. So that is the one-shot build, but now we're going to move on to the tanky build, and this build is very very, very interesting. I haven't seen any other Rengar players go with this type of build before, so let's get right into it. It's a very strange build, I must admit, but the starting items, they're going to be exactly the same as before, as the one-shot build. Okay, now we're going to talk about the core items. So same as before, on his first back, he would look to get the Warhammer, and then he would either get a Sunfire Cape or Banshee's Veil, depending on the matchup he's up against. So obviously, if he's up against AD, he would go with the Sunfire Cape, and if he's up against AP, he would go with the Banshee's Veil. And once he gets one of those items, he would then complete his Boots of Lucidity and Ghostblade. And then after that, he would then get the other item. So if he went with the Sunfire Cape first, he would then get the Banshee's Veil, or if he went with the Banshee's Veil first, he would then get the Sunfire Cape. Obviously, if he went with the Sunfire Cape and he's up against an all AD team, he doesn't really need the Banshee's Veil. He can continue to build full armor items. And then finally, he would look to get the Guardian Angel. Now, Guardian Angel is a pretty cheap item right now. It's a really strong item, so that's probably the main reason why he goes with Guardian Angel. So here is an example of a final build that you'll often see him end up with. So Boots of Lucidity, Sunfire Cape, Ghostblade, Banshee's Veil, Guardian Angel, and then a Randuin's Omen. Other items he would consider to get as a last or second last item are Titanic Hydra, Thormail, Stattik's Gauge, or a Maw of Malmortius. So that is the Rengar build guide. With the tanky Rengar build, he's only really been playing it over the last 2 weeks. And from what I can see from his games, the champions he would use it against are champions such as Alawi, Rise, and then Darius. Overall, if I was you, I would try and master the full damage build first, and then I would maybe experiment with other builds. So that's going to be the end of the video. I'm just going to leave you with a couple of clips. So it's going to be a one-shot clip and a pentakill.